and we have still, I mean, we have reporters in, we have reporters in Israel that cover that now. We never, nobody's stories real.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. I don't have anything off the top, so I see our friend is tardy. So, Sean, go ahead.
Sure. I guess a few places to start, but Russia. Vladimir Putin has won, according to Russian officials, a very resounding victory. Does the U.S. have any comments on either on the margin of victory or more generally on the election conduct?
You know, Sean, I was on the edge of my seat. It was such a nail biter. No, look, in all seriousness, to be very clear, the Russian people deserve a free and fair election and the ability to choose among a group of candidates representing a diverse set of views. Russians, like everyone else, deserve access to impartial information to help them choose the leadership that they so desire and help them determine the future of their country. And that was clearly not the case in these elections, which were neither free nor fair. And as you all know, the Kremlin has imprisoned political opponents and prevented others from running. They've denied anti-war candidates, among other things. And as you also all know, that leading Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny recently died in custody following years of harassment, abuse, and imprisonment. So this election occurred in an environment of intense repression and imprisonment. And ultimately, though Vladimir Putin is likely to remain the president of Russia, though recognizing that is certainly not any excuse for his autocracy.
Just the last person, recognizing that is not an excuse. Like recognizing he's
recognizing that it is likely that he is going to remain president of the Russian Federation.
Sure. I mean, some in the dissident community have been saying that the United States should hold off of formally recognizing the victory in whatever shape that means. I mean, does the United States recognize that he is reelected? Obviously, he is president of Russia, but is the United States recognizing the results?
Well, Sean, it certainly was an undemocratic process, and I think it is safe to say that there certainly won't be any congratulatory calls coming from the United States of America. But like I said, he is likely to remain the president of Russia, but that does not excuse him of his autocracy.
Sorry, what does it mean he's likely to remain the president of Russia?
He will remain the president of Russia.
Well, why do you keep saying likely? You've said it like 4 times now.
He's going to remain the president of Russia. But again, I think the bigger point here, Matt, is that, as I said, this was an incredibly undemocratic process, and certainly him being president of Russia does not excuse him of his autocracy. Coming back to you.
Well, I was late, so I don't know. Have you done other subjects, or
no? You just walked in.
All right. I have other subjects, but since I was late, I'll let others go first.
In the spirit of politeness and democracy.
Anything else? Okay. Before we pivot away to a different topic, I will go back to the Associated Press in case, unless anybody else has elections on Russia, which is the last thing we were talking about. Okay, so go ahead.
Well, I have questions on Haiti, but I also have questions on Niger. So let's just start with Haiti. What's the latest situation with the evacuation flights?
So some of you we were in touch with about this over this weekend, but on Sunday, March 17th, the department facilitated the safe departure of over 30 American citizens on a U.S. government charter flight from Cap-Haïtien, Haiti to Miami International Airport. As you all know, that the Haiti has been at a level 4 do not travel state since March of 2020. U.S. citizens should not travel to Haiti, and those in Haiti should depart immediately using commercial or other private transportation options when available and safe to do so.
Well, okay, but are there more flights planned?
This is we're taking this process step by step, Matt. This is a fluid and quickly evolving situation on the ground. We are continually staying in touch with American citizens and those who may either be interested in hearing from embassy operations or interested in potential assistance in departing, and we'll be in touch with them should additional measures materialize. But I don't have any updates to offer
All
at
right.
this
And then
moment
on
right
the
now.
political situation and the agreement that the secretary helped broker last week, beginning of last week.
So it is it is not hyperbole to say that this is one of the most dire humanitarian situations in the world. Gang violence continues to make the security situation in Haiti untenable, and it is a region that demands our attention and action. Um, I understand that Haitian stakeholders are very close to finalizing membership and remain in active discussions with CARICOM leaders as it relates to the makeup of the transitional presidential council. I expect them to have an update, hopefully as soon as today, and refer you to them in CARICOM. But the announcement of this council, we believe, will help pave the way for free and fair elections and the deployment of the national security support mission. And the TPC's goal is to work for and improve the lives of all Haitians. And we're seeing gang members do the exact opposite.
Thanks.
God.
I'm trying to understand the sequencing here. On Thursday, Matt stood where you are and said there were no plans now or in the future to evacuate Americans. And then it was less than 48 hours. We then heard there was a charter flight that took Americans out. So wondering what transpired what changed in those hours.
Let's take a little bit of a step back. First, I would say that when it comes to the safety and security of American citizens, especially those abroad, especially those in dangerous, untenable security situations, that is, we have no higher priority when it comes to that. I will also say, in response to Matt's question about will there be potentially other movements, that it is a very fluid and dynamic situation on the ground, and circumstances change quite rapidly. And the commercial options that are available are either non-existent or quite limited. And so a decision was made to conduct this kind of, pull this kind of plan together. But I will also add that we are the United States of America. This is what we do. And in countries around the world where we have diplomats, where we have American citizens, we have contingency planning, feasibility planning, always in the works to rely on should the circumstances on the ground warrant it.
So are you saying that the situation, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but just to understand the situation on the ground.
An assessment was made by us that the situation on the ground, both when it came to the security circumstances on the ground, as well as the feasibility of commercial options, made it such that we thought it was in the interest of the American citizens who can make their way to Cap Haitian, that such an avenue for departure be made available to them.
And then quick follow-up, 30 some American citizens seems like a very small number, considering Matt also told us on Thursday that there were several hundred who had reached out to state through the portal to register interest in trying to get out, or not interest, but asking for more information, indicating they would like to get out. How concerned are you about the safety of those hundreds of Americans that are still there?
This is a fluid situation, and the number of individuals who have reached out to us through the crisis intake form is approaching 1,000, and we're continuing to monitor the situation closely, evaluate the demand of U.S. citizens, evaluate the overall security situation, evaluate what is feasible when it comes to commercial transportation options, what is feasible for other transportation solutions. So I am just going to say that work is ongoing, and we have no higher priority than the safety and security of American citizens, though we certainly recognize the security situation is untenable, and we're continuing to look at what might be possible. Well,
thank you. Are you able to clarify if the American citizens who got out over the weekend, are they all American citizens? Are there any lawful permanent residents? Is it non-American family? Can you just clarify those?
So I don't have a makeup to offer of the passengers on Sunday's flight beyond what I said, which is that the departure of over 30 U.S. citizens. Our priority right now continues to be American citizens. We will take a look at individuals of other categories based on availability, resources, demand signals, and things like that. But right now, our priority continues to be American citizens.
And can you say if most of the Americans who have signed up to the crisis intake form, you're saying that this is approaching 1,000, are they mostly in Port-au-Prince? Are they? Can you give an idea on location?
I'm not in a place to offer that kind of breakdown. I think an important thing to remember, Camilla, is when people register with our crisis intake form, it is for a variety of reasons. Many, we assume, are in a circumstance where they are ready to fully depart the country per se. Others may be more interested in just getting status updates, getting information on what avenues might be available to them. It is hard to paint this entire population with a single stroke.
And can you just one more? Can you just clarify on? There's been reports about Guantanamo Bay and its possible usage in this crisis in Haiti. Are there any state offices, departmental offices based in Gitmo at the moment?
Not to my knowledge. And I think the Department of Homeland Security may be happy to speak to you about any contingency planning that they are doing as it relates to potential migration activities. I will just note that from our perch and vantage point, irregular migration levels in the Caribbean continue to be low, but in terms of any planning that is underway, I'm sure my colleagues at DHS would be happy to speak to you. Staying with the front, Simon, anything?
If we're staying on Haiti, then we can go elsewhere.
Okay. Anything else on Haiti before we
We can switch.
Nick, you look like you were about to put your hand up. Haiti? No, you're good. All right.
Can we
On
talk-
Haiti? No. Okay, then I'm
Can we
going to go
talk
to Simon.
Gaza
I'll
then?
come to you side. I promise.
Yeah, I wondered if on Gaza we could get your response to the IPC, the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification Assessment. Basically saying it's already the situation, food shortages in the Gaza Strip have already exceeded famine levels. Mass death is now imminent. And basically the UN says a ceasefire immediately is needed to avert this. Is that something that, given the severity that's laid out in this report, that the US might consider?
So first, I just want to say we have seen this alarming and heart-wrenching report, and it is quite stark. There are children who are starving, that are malnourished as a result of the fact that humanitarian assistance can't get to them, and that is why we believe so strongly that everything must be done to scale up the delivery of humanitarian assistance. We believe sustained humanitarian assistance is required. Unhindered land convoys, we think, are irreplaceable when it comes to the ability to reach people wherever they are across Gaza, in addition to the additive and supplemental efforts of delivery of food via maritime routes and airdrops. I don't have any new policy to announce, Simon. You've heard the Secretary say pretty clearly that we are for a ceasefire, but one that is coupled with the release of the hostages, and one that allows some space for continued diplomacy and deliberations for broader peace and security in the region.
You mentioned unhindered land convoys. So is it correct that Israel is hindering the flow of aid across the land border?
That's not at all what I was saying, meaning to imply. The point that I'm making is that there the amount of aid that has been entering Gaza up to point. We continue to need more, and this report is pretty stark in its assessment of how much more is needed. But we continue to see progress in that space. I will say over the weekend, the World Food Programme's 96th Gate convoy successfully delivered aid into Gaza. 18 trucks were able to enter the north without any incident, were able to offload.
On parle et essayer de traduire pour nous et sous conférence ça et porte-parole et en après département d'État donc l'été bail jeudi sous et Haïti donc c'est en anglais bien que me connais et majorité nous même qui regarder là donc nous et parler anglais et c'est en conférence donc il fait bail et porte-parole en après il dit ça doit gagner et évolution, je dis, sur situation Haïti, sur question mise en place collège présidentiel là, donc c'est-à-dire gagner discussion entre tout acteur qui est impliqué donc dans et discussion à eux, donc il y a même eu à rejoindre une évolution. Alors évolution elle pas dit et qui ça la pied et par il va pas aucune information sur et naturellement qui donc est-ce que son solution y a besoin est-ce que c'est installé mon yo peut l'installer mais il dit t'as doit gagner yon et résolution qui joint jeudi il a annoncé tout gagner environ en trentaine et américains qui quittaient alors fait qu'on est donc une trentaine américains qui quittaient Haïti et dans week-end là yo te ba yo et avion privé donc vol privé pour être capable faciliter yo fait ça dans zone et cap haïtien et porte-parole là donc les reconnaître et situation pour qu'on y en Haïti est extrêmement difficile son situation qui est très grave donc alors ça c'est et certaines questions donc les répondre sur question Haïti en gros donc les 10 gagnants ils ont et t'as deux gagnants on update sur situation Haïti jeudi dans niveau parti qui est impliqué dans la crise là donc parti Haïti yo nous comprendre gagner et plusieurs partis et donc accord 21 décembre donc yo même qui pas de gagner et qui va arriver joindre une entente pour yo te désigner au monde et semaine passée yo te voyé en liste de 3 monde by il CARICOM il y a 3 groupes dedans accord ça donc qui yo même te décider chaque voyer monde par yo et CARICOM il était décidé prendre et après discussion donc plusieurs discussions CARICOM il était retourné sous décision ça il dit donc là bail mon temps pour yo prendre jusqu'à présent c'est seul et accord 21 décembre donc qui yo même pas convoyer monde officiellement donc qui pas entendre son monde bien entendu mais et toute l'autre partie envoyé donc jeudi a gagné réunion qui a fait dans l'ONU une réunion qui a fait dans l'ONU en privé donc sous dossier haïtien et puis et gagner rencontre qu'a fait tout ensemble avec différents partis qui ont même impliqué pour être capable de joindre ils ont entre guillemets solution et à ça qu'a fait jeudi donc c'est ça et porte-parole en après donc lui même lui annoncé et il dit et il a demandé américain pas voyager aller à Haïti puisque situation est extrêmement et difficile donc je pense pour les camarades qui ont même pas et parler anglais et donc il était nécessaire que nous te baïti et update ça donc pour capable comprendre donc suivre information aujourd'hui probablement obtenir gagner quelques annonces qui fait sur question Haïti et est-ce que c'est mon 21 décembre qui a privé annoncé donc yo finalement entendu pour monde et pas connaît est-ce que c'est CARICOM qui a annoncé donc yo bay vague sous mon 21 décembre ça donc en fin de compte donc yo avancé avec mise en place collège présidentiel là pour compte yo nous pas connaît mais l'essentiel gagné yon causé qui a dit et jeudi merci un peu battu pour été donc c'est pas un show de une faire c'était juste pour me capable traduire et en gros bah non résumé de ça qui dit dans et réunion jeudi merci beaucoup.
Alexa, what are the latest news from the Caribbean Television Network?
From Caribbean Television Network News. Even in his inability to lead, Ariel Henry enjoys the support of the United States. From Zoom Haiti News Daily. The Assistant Secretary of State for International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, Todd D. Robinson, reiterated the United States' support for the Haitian government in the fight against insecurity.
Zoom Haiti News, français. L'ex-ministre de l'Agriculture, des Ressources naturelles et du Développement rural, David Nicolas, est mort.
En Zoom Haiti News español, el gobierno de Biden agradece la colaboración de las autoridades haitianas en la gestión del expediente de migrantes irregulares devueltos al país,